Hello, we are the Stop Wearing My Clothes podcast. I'm Amy.
I'm Kayla. One podcast, two sisters. This is episode 51, Bachelor Week 4 recap. But before that, we talk about Rihanna's big announcement at the halftime show, a new villain reality show, and after the altar recap. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit on the little bell for notifications on YouTube, and rate and review on anywhere you listen to podcasts. And follow us on our socials at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod. And they can email us too, right, Amy?
Yes, you can email us at stopwearingmyclothespodcast@gmail.com.
Let's get into it.
All right, well, day after the Super Bowl, here we are. What did you think?
Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole thing, which never actually happens, but I did.
Mom looked like she had a good spread.
Oh, yeah. She had a lot. Most of the time, I feel like she does, dips and stuff, but this time she did a lot of, main course, little burger sliders, tacos, and...
Nice. I read the menu she posted on Instagram.
I know she's getting really into the reels now, too.
I noticed. Good for her. So Rihanna, I didn't watch the game. I only watched Rihanna. And I was the first one. Within the first second, I'm like, is Rihanna announcing she's pregnant? And I texted Evan immediately, and he's like, no. So I was like, okay, fine. And then Chicks in the Office posted saying, oh, Rihanna did that, and she did that pregnant. So then I call you guys, and you and Evan are like, no, she's not pregnant. She just had a baby 4 months ago. And I was like, okay. And then I even deleted something I post because I didn't want to accidentally fat shame a postpartum mom. And then it was officially confirmed by People, E! News, all the big people, that she was in fact pregnant with her second child, and it was her way of announcing it. Even though, I just remember the first thing I think of is Beyonce when she announced her baby, and I was waiting for a moment like that. I guess she did rub her belly in the beginning, but I didn't catch up.
I thought it was more of a sexual rub when I saw it. So I didn't. Well, and like I said, in my head, she just had a baby. I guess it was a little bit longer ago than I thought. But I know you can't have a baby that quick. But at the same time, I was like, that's too quick. I thought it was 3 months ago. So I'm like, I mean, you could do it right when you get cleared. But I don't know. I just didn't realize that. So I was kind of defending her because who cares? She can wear what she wants, even if she has a little belly left from having a baby, you know?
Totally, yeah, and that's why I was so scared to say something, because I don't want to be that girl. But the way her outfit, I just was expecting her to do an extra unzip and be like, boom, here's my belly. But the way she had it zipped, it was if someone has postpartum or even just have a little bit of a belly like I do, I wouldn't that's not where I would stop the zipper. It's almost accentuating the baby bump, where it's cute because it's a baby bump, not as cute if it's not. It's it's kind of like what people do with their boobs for pregnancy bellies. Yeah. So just that was quite the choice if she's not pregnant.
Yeah, totally. I think that everybody was very confused. And then once it got confirmed, we're like, oh, okay. I guess.
Yeah, everyone was kind of tiptoeing around it. We were scared because we didn't want to upset Riri.
Another thing during the game that me and Evan were laughing about is Evan's our brother, by the way. Blake Lively. So we were looking at her, or Evan was looking at her Instagram, and she did a whole bunch of posts of her food, been busy or whatever. And so in Evan's head, he was like, well, and then it got announced she had the baby. So he was like, gee, she made all this food and then she went and had the baby. So that's what I was thinking, within hours after. But I think it was that she posted a picture actually without her baby bump even there. So she had the baby previously.
Gotcha. Okay. I didn't catch up on all the social media aspects of it. I just knew that she had her fourth baby with Ryan Reynolds.
I know, boy or girl. I want to know.
I know.
They have all girls.
Okay. Hopefully Ryan gets a boy. It's just so they have the full. If you're gonna have 4 kids, you might as well have some variety in there.
Yeah, I think actually though Ryan was like, I'm so used to being a girl dad, I almost want it to be a girl.
Yeah, I could see that. See, I think if me and Marcus had kids, he's such a girl dad. It would be weird for us to have a boy. I feel like. Moving on. Sorry, I'm like out of it today. I'll start because it actually perfectly goes into my annoyed. I've had the worst day.
Why?
The worst. So I wake up and I look in I've really kind of like organized my clothes recently. So I have like a whole athleisure drawer and I feel like really cool about that. And so I found these pants I forgot about and that are like really in. They weren't even as in when I bought them, but now I'm like gold. So I put on this outfit with a bodysuit and then I put on my makeup and I do one squirt of the foundation, misses my hand, it gets all over my pants.
No.
So I try to wipe it. It's there. I was going to make content. I was like, whatever, I'll do content anyway. So I make content and then I realize still don't fully see it to the naked eye. It's only on like videos and pictures. There's like weird darker black splotches on all my videos. And then I go and get my third glass of water because I'm trying to be good at that. It's full. Dump it all over me.
Oh no.
This is just in the last few hours. Like this is not like we aren't too far into the day, guys. It's like not even 2 yet. And so right now it's still soaked, only one. And I didn't have anything to clean it up because I just threw all the towels in the washer.
Oh no.
And now one of my legs is freezing cold because it's just wet. So, and I ordered air fryer filters so that you don't have to like clean it every time. You just throw it in the filter and the thing and throw it away. So you have to clean the air fryer every time. And apparently it was supposed to be delivered January 20th. It is February 13th as we record this today. And it said that it delivered and we never got it. And we can't figure out how to tell them we didn't get it because it's been too long and we didn't realize.
That happened to me it happened to Jared. He ordered me like this awesome like bath tray. And it says it was delivered for Christmas. It delivered before Christmas, and he thought it hadn't even come yet.
Yeah,
and we still haven't figured that out either.
I actually have a really funny story about that. Has Jared told you about Christmas when I called him?
Yeah, but you could tell.
Yeah, I called Marcus because we do Secret Santa since we have like 4 of us, or now 6 of us with significant others, of like our siblings and siblings-in-law, whatever you want to call them. And so we only pick one Secret Santa, and I got Amy this year, so I was really excited, and she's really into take a bath, so I was like, boom, 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 I get her a bath. I like themed gifts. I don't think someone gives me a gift and it's not themed or they are somewhat connected, I will think less of you.
So she already thinks less of me because I had her and I did not theme her.
No, but I loved it though. But so I was going to give her like the bath board. I was going to bath bombs, everything. So I called them. I was like, making sure you didn't already have the wood plank thing or whatever. And he's like, that's my exact present that I was going to give Amy. So the fact that I called Jared, I wasn't necessarily planning. It was just like a spur of the moment thing. Like, could you imagine if you had 2 like exact same gifts from your sister and your husband? Well, it means we know you well.
Yeah, and also maybe if you would have given it to me, I would have actually gotten it. Unlike
true. You don't have a husband do a job that a sister could do.
Exactly.
Or you, yeah, that's the right saying, right?
Well, yeah,
something like that. You guys can put.
Yeah, don't take it dirty though, because then it goes weird.
Oh yeah, we don't do things like that. No, moving on. Okay, so that was my annoyed. What are you annoyed at? Then we could like move on to happier things. Let's just get the shit out of the way.
I am annoyed that you only gave us like half the freaking season. Give me the whole thing. I want to binge it all. Like, don't just leave me.
What are you talking about?
It only gave 6 episodes.
Oh, I didn't hear the actual name of the show you were talking about. Did you say it? I thought you just went in and I was like, what are we talking about? Okay. So yes. I'm not done with part 1, but I like it so far. Have you watched any of it?
Yeah, I watched the first episode. So I guess I shouldn't be that annoyed because I'm not watching it that fast anyways.
Sure.
But like people like to just watch it all at once. Why do they just give us these half seasons of stuff?
I know. Netflix has been trying that even with like Perfect Match and Love is Blind. They do like little bits at a time. I don't mind that for more of like reality, but for like one of their like Netflix is one of their biggest shows. Oh, I guess they did Stranger Things that way. But here's what happened with Stranger Things for me, at least. Part 1 was so good, and there were so many amazing theories that happened within like the couple weeks, or I don't remember how far along between part 1 and part 2 was. But once we got to part 2, I was so disappointed because I had spent that time lifting it so high in my head and seeing all of these people's theories that ended up being better than what the actual show did.
Yeah.
So that's my problem with it.
Totally. So let's hear something that made you happy.
What did I have to do? I have to like actually look at my notes because just all happiness is drained from me. Oh, okay. Yes. There is a new reality show rumored that will just be villains and it will be airing on E. So the people who are already signed up for this is Jax Taylor from Vanderpump Rules, Johnny Bananas from The Challenge, the redhead girl from Big Brother that was also on Traitors. I don't remember her name. Shake from Love is Blind, Karen from Bachelor. Oh my God, who is this guy? The guy who pretended that his grandmother died on Survivor? What was his name? John.
I don't remember.
I think it's John too, something John. And Anna Delvey is the rumored host. Do you know who Anna Delvey is?
Wait, the actual Anna Delvey?
The real Anna Delvey. The one.
Yeah, because I watched the show, but
she's on house arrest right now because of all of her crimes. I don't know exactly how they do it, but other rumored casts are Omarosa, from she was like that Donald Trump show. You're Fired. Yeah, that one.
I don't know what it's called.
I think she was on Big Brother Celebrity too. She's been on a lot of stuff. Heidi Montag from The Hills, Farrah Abram from Teen Mom. So like this is going to be incredible.
Do you know like the concept of
it? The following reality star villains are confirmed to be filling House of Villains. That's what's going to be called, which is it will be airing on E. That's the only information I have. But anyways, I am so down. That cast seems amazing. So I don't know when, whatever, but like a lot of different like reality TV creators are talking about it. So it is happening. It's going to be on E. Those are some of the rumored casts, and I cannot wait.
Yeah, that's insane. I'm like so curious of like what it is exactly, but that's going to be fun. All right, so my happy is I'm all for drama on Instagram, like connecting the dots, doing all that stuff. Okay, MGK, when they were at the Grammys, there was like a really weird interview.
It was weird.
Kind of where he was weird. Yeah, and then they like basically asked Megan Fox to come up, and she's like, no, I'm not going up there.
Yeah.
So kind of rumors. There's always freaking rumors of them being broken up, though. I can't even handle it.
Sure.
But then her Instagram, she unfollowed everybody but Eminem, Timothy Chalamet. Yeah. Chalamet. And
Harry Styles.
Harry Styles. Yeah. So obviously MGK hates Eminem. So they're like, oh, the other two have to be something to do with that. So it's like a big thing on them being broken up. Did she delete pictures?
She deleted all the pictures of them on her feed. She also posted something about like I could see something or something.
Yeah, I actually saved it.
Good.
She also said you can taste the dishonesty. It's all over your breath.
And she's like burning something.
Yeah, and then there's also rumors that he cheated on her with his bandmate. One of the girls, the blonde girl on there.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear about that. I heard the theory that, we know it's debunked now, but it was because it was Rihanna and Eminem has that Love the Way You Lie, that it was all elaborate, like, lead up for press for the halftime show. And, like, they were going to, maybe MGK was going to show up with Megan Fox and they're going to be like, bazinga. But I've been watching The Big Bang Theory, and every single time he does a joke, he's like, bazinga. Do you ever watch that show?
I have watched it. Not all of it, but like I've watched it.
I have one that I'm going to tell you to read. It's the one where he goes into the ball pit. Have you seen the ball pit one?
I don't think so.
He dives into it, and he's like, he's not high on something. He's just like, he's loony a little bit. We all are to a certain extent. And then he just, all of a sudden, he disappears, and he pops up, and he's like, bazinga! And he goes back to his. I promise it's really funny. What were we talking about?
Megan Fox.
Yes, but okay, so everyone's like, they haven't confirmed the breakup, but after all that happened, she just completely like
deleted her
Instagram, and everyone's saying everything like about them breaking up, blah blah blah. But Demois entered the chat. We just talked about Demois with that Bachelor rumor back in the
It's
day.
hilarious because I've never heard of this person until these last 2 weeks.
Okay, so Demois posted on their story, and it's a page 6 article with Megan and Kelly Fox about them breaking up or whatever. And
Mhm.
she captioned it, "Some of you guys just really don't get Megan Fox." And then you see that it's a response that someone said to her story saying, "So is she being funny? LOL." And Demois says, "Yes, just trolling, being funny, being dramatic. I heard on very good authority that they did not break up." So
Hmm.
I trust Demois, I think. So I don't know what's going on. I mean, they're really intense as a couple.
Like, I
So
know
who's
they drink each other's
Raven?
blood.
Yeah,
Yikes. I don't think
yeah.
you can go back after that.
Yeah, it's not probably not a healthy relationship. I mean, I'm not in it, but like I do just have such a girl crush on Megan Fox, and so I just want the best for her, and I think she could do
Hmm. No, they are weird. I'm sorry,
that.
but
Yeah,
they are
well,
just
and the ring he gave her is like specifically meant to hurt her because he wants to like equate love with pain.
okay. On that note, let's move on.
Okay. Reality TV news. There are some Bravo things, but since Amy's not into it, I'm just not doing Bravo on the podcast episodes. Follow us on TikTok if you want to know any of that. And that's
Yeah. So let's
oh,
just,
that's
yeah,
it. So now
yeah. Let's just go into the after the altar. Oh,
recap. Yes.
yes.
So going into it was like, what were you most looking forward to see?
SK and Raven. I wanted to know how that was gonna play out. Literally the whole time I was confused because I was not sure of what the timeline was of when this was filmed compared to the reunion, compared to knowing that SK cheated. So I was like confused. I thought at first when it started, because it's showing like their love story through the
Yeah.
after the altar. Um, I was like, wait, are they just not going to talk about it? And have they gotten back together? That's actually what I was thinking.
Really?
I was
Oh,
confused
okay.
because I didn't know. So what is the timeline? I'm sure you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, if I understand it correctly, he was cheating on her the whole time he was on Love is Blind. And when they broke up and when they got back together and this whole time. Like a
So
bit
he's just a big old liar face.
like after watching After the Altar, like he has to be a sociopath. Like it's actually like he's so convincing and just like Raven's a smart girl and like the fact that like
Why did he propose to her again then?
he's loony. Like
Did
I
he think he just would? Is he like a sex addict and he just wants to bang everybody, but he wants to be with Raven, or does he not even care about Raven?
That's a great question. SK really hasn't talked much, and it was like some blonde girl, and she's the one who went and called him out. I think she did it on TikTok, and I mean, he was open with her that he was doing a show that called Love Is Blind, and he was engaged to Raven, but it's not real. It's just TV. Yeah, I
Well, I am.
know.
So Raven is going to be on the Vile Files on Thursday, and I am so not excited because it's actually really sad. I'm
I'm
very
so
sad
excited.
for her. Okay, so we can be excited, but I'm so curious of like, did he just flip a switch and was he mean to her after that? Like, how did he talk to her about it? Did he apologize? Like, I am so curious of how that exactly played out because we didn't. I mean, we don't know. It
Same.
didn't give us really any information. So that's what I was most excited about is to kind of. I was hoping that there would maybe be more of like a I don't know. I guess he cheated, but I just wanted it to work out somehow because I really believe Raven in that whole show was the most surprising. I think that I judged her a little bit
Me
and I
too.
don't even know what exactly I thought she was going to be, but she is everything. And I say Raven for Bachelorette.
I love her so much. I love her more than any other. I mean, all the girls are great, but she's my favorite, and I think she's just
Mhm.
the most real and genuine,
Genuine.
and way
Mhm.
too good for any of the guys there.
Yeah,
I
all the girls
I
are way too good for any of the guys there.
love the Bachelorette idea. I just like don't know how like the like
Can
production
they?
studio
Yeah.
crap, but I mean, we're getting 1 inch closer to her being on the Vile Files, right?
Yeah, yes, that's the it. Maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe Nick will put a little feelers out there. I don't know.
I would love it. I would love it.
So
Um,
what were you most looking forward to when
the
you were
exact
watching it?
same of what you said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I have us talking about those two at the end because I have the most to say about them.
Do that.
Let's start with Zenab and Cole. So the first time we see Zenab is like she is with the girls at lunch. Like
Mhm.
they were savage to Cole at that girls' lunch. Like, what did you think?
I I just I think he deserves to be sliced. Savage. I don't
Sliced.
know.
Have you been
Like,
watching you too much?
like I just mean he deserves to get dogged on. He's a douchebag. He did not prove himself to be any better of a guy. I mean, I think he deserved everything that's been said about him. I feel bad
Really?
for him a
See,
little bit just because I think he's delusional. I really don't think he even like can see. I don't think he's self-aware whatsoever.
yeah. See, that's why I think I am the most confused about that relationship. Like
Mhm.
everyone's either just very like Team Cold to Team Zenub. I like them both individually. I think Cole is
Yeah.
kind of funny and quirky and weird. He probably out of all the guys would be the one I'd most go for.
Yeah.
And Zenub, she's beautiful and like she could get any guy she wants, but just how just like differently they see things and what went down is just like really hard for me to wrap my head around. And I just don't understand, and it makes me like question both of them. I was like, they're like usually in these type of things, it's not usually just one person's right and one person's wrong. You know,
Yeah.
there's probably like a little bit of both. And sometimes the
Mhm.
way Zenub carries herself when it comes to the whole situation just seemed a little off-putting to me, but at the same time like I don't think we're ever going to fully know Cole and that whole situation. I'm like just kind of I'm confused as Cole is.
Yeah, I think that sometimes Cole makes comments though that like is really douchey, which makes me like lean more toward Team Zenab. But then at the same time, I do think that Zenab probably, I mean, she even admits to this, has probably a lot of insecurities, a lot of daddy issues. I mean, that she's working through. And I think that that probably played a big part in maybe how she took some of the things that Cole said. But I mean, some of the things that Cole said, terrible. But the cutie situation, I actually think he's right.
I know the cutie situation is like the mind fuck.
That's a bad example. But if he had said other things, that could have just been like, oh, another thing you're saying I can't eat,
Yeah.
or something like that. But Cole made a point like, eating an orange? Why would I tell you to only eat one orange? That would make you healthy. Like, why would I tell you not to? I don't.
Yeah, I think Zenab is definitely valid in her feelings, and it's
Yeah,
good that they're not together. And if Zenab
yeah.
needed to be the one to put her foot down in that, good for her.
Hmm.
I thought she killed the whole after the altar. I thought she was so funny. Um,
Hmm.
there was one thing like when it was her and her friend getting ready to go to Alexa's birthday party. Have you ever heard like of this saying? Because I have not. Are you ready to throw biscuits on that base?
What is that?
They're talking about dancing at the party. I have never heard of that before. Have you?
I've never heard of that. No. Is it like shaking your butt because your butt's the biscuit?
Throwing those biscuits. I don't know. That'll be us in Palm Springs. Um, and another thing to maybe go against Cole too is how he interacted with Alexa's stepmom. Like it seemed like she was a little like it was awkward.
Yeah, and also I was like, is he drunk? Because it almost kind of seemed like he was just like, you're not her mom. You're like just kind of
Yeah,
being like a little
once or
obnoxious.
twice is like, oh okay. I mean, yeah, but he said it like 5 times.
Yeah.
So that was a little awkward and almost like, made me look at Cole as a more full person. I was like, okay, so if he's very unaware and self-aware in that situation, he could be in other ones with Zenab.
Yeah, I mean, and also like the thing that bothered me was his conversation with his two little friends. Two little friends, I don't know why I call them
Oh
that,
yeah,
but
like at the very first episode.
yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna move to San Diego and get a bikini babe. Like just he just seems very surface level in that thing. And also Zinab is gorgeous, so
Oh,
like
she's like,
not that he's ever said that. I just don't understand if why looks would be a
and people
problem.
have types, whether that's a
Yeah.
body type, whether that's a personality type.
Mhm.
so there is that. I think people are allowed
Yeah,
to have their preferences, but I mean, not at
yeah,
the expense of other
someone
people.
else.
Yeah.
But that's also why this show is tricky.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hot take.
yeah.
I think
Hmm.
Cole and Colleen would have actually gotten married if they chose each other. And I think they would
Hmm.
still be married.
I like that because can we move on to Colleen and Matt now?
Actually, there is one like kind of news thing that came out after the altar
Okay.
about Cole. Let's take a look.
Mhm.
After the altar. And what surprised me is that Cole actually thought that they were still going to date after their wedding day. I mean, what's your thought on that?
Well, he's that's not true. Like he was already he dated someone from our cast like soon after. So I just feel like he wanted to put on this front of like, sir, you had a year and a half to.
So, what do you think about Nancy said? I mean, all of the girls are definitely against Cole at this point, but I mean, I don't think she would lie about him seeing someone else.
Yeah, but what? Well, who? Tell me. You can't make comments like that and not tell me who.
I know that's true. That's true. I'm curious if it's any of the girls who are going to be on Perfect Match, like LC. I think she's actually she was in the pods, but no, she was
With
season
Bartise,
2.
I think,
No, she
right?
was season 2.
Oh.
Oh wait, so then
Oh,
on the cast
yeah.
that wouldn't work. Never mind. So yeah, I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah, she kind of just dropped that and didn't give us any details. So maybe Cole will be the next one on Vile Files.
Ooh.
All right. They should do like a reunion of After the Altar.
Let's talk about Brennan and Cole's conversation. What do you think about that? What do you think about their beef with each other?
So when I first watched the show, I was obsessed with Alexa and Brennan. I thought they were so cute. I still really love Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just because of some of the headlines that came out. I'm trying not, but just something about him on the After the Altar rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm not a huge fan anymore.
Do you have anything more you'd like to say upon that?
I just feel like, okay, the headlines is, I don't know too much about this, so I'm not going to go into details, look it up, but there is like a charge against him when it comes to domestic violence, which no, on any level. And I don't know, it just, the way he talked down to Cole, like he's so much better because he ended up happy in this experiment and got married to the person. So even like when all the boys got together and how he was talking to Matt about them not living together, it just seemed very like superior. Like, oh, okay, I'm the king of season 3 of Love is Blind, and all of you guys suck. That's kind of how I felt. I don't know. What do you think?
I could see that. I see him being a little judgy, but at the same time, I almost feel like he's standing up for what he thinks is right at the same time. But it's so hard to say because it's like a TV show and we only see like parts of it. And because we have the background knowledge of this charge against him, like it kind of muddies the waters and makes you not really know like where the vibe's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
As I watched Alexa and Brennan, I love them. I don't think that he is gonna mess with Alexa.
Oh, she would kill him.
Yeah,
like actual murder.
Yeah, and I think maybe that works for him. I think he needs someone like that, and maybe, I mean, like I said, we don't know exactly what happened in that scenario, and no one spoke about it, which is not frustrating, but at the same time, I feel like wouldn't you want to clear the air if that wasn't true?
Yeah,
but then also, I don't want to give space for this necessarily, but like, can people make mistakes in that scenario? Like if she was hitting him, like, there's so much that could happen.
Yeah, I don't know
in a domestic violence.
So,
yeah, there's so much that can happen in a domestic violence situation. Never right, but you know what I mean? It's just hard. It's hard to say.
He probably
but
didn't want to make like another headline about it if he like talked about it again on After the Altar. And I mean, Alexa's sticking by him. She knows the truth. She's happy with him and their relationship. So I mean, that's all we can. I mean, obviously, he's not hurting her. So that's he doesn't have any red flags when it comes to that when I see them together.
No, and he talks her up and like makes her feel so confident about herself and is like,
Not that she needs
oh
that
yeah, that's my
much, but
woman.
yeah, she doesn't need much of that. She's got it all on her own. But
Yeah, no, totally.
I love her. Can we talk about that
Mhm.
dress to her birthday party? Those are the vibes I'm
Yes.
giving. I'm having a funeral to my youth for my 30th birthday party at the end of the month. And those are going to be the vibes I'm giving.
Yeah. So
She's
good.
so hot.
That whole party. Yeah, she was just the light of the whole after the altar. Like
Yeah, she's
she was
just the
just
star of the season. I mean, it's
yeah,
easy to
for
say.
sure.
What did you think
Mhm.
of the interaction between Brennan and Alexa's dad on the first episode?
I was kind of confused by it.
It was
I think
awkward.
I think Brennan said it well. It's just like it's like he likes to pick fun at him or whatever, and he kind of just has to go along with it, and it's like whatever. I don't know. I wonder if culture has something to do with it too, though, like the way that he is.
Sure, I could see that. It's so
Yeah, and
cool
then
that Brennan's family is there with them at Shabbat dinner. Like, how amazing is that?
especially because they're so different, farmer people, and like them. It's just I just think that what they've created is actually pretty
So cool. And I think they're
Mhm.
lifers. I have no doubt in their relationship.
It made me laugh really hard that Brendan gave Alexa a little baby onesie. I was like, wait, they're not having a baby, but he just got it for her. Like that's so
That
cute.
was okay. That was weird to me. I was just like, oh, okay. Like that's I don't know. I'd feel pressure or like I don't know. It was weird. The baby
Well,
doesn't exist yet.
okay, I thought it was weird too because I thought it was going to be an announcement. Like I thought when they showed the little preview of it, but they also it almost seems like she wants to have babies, like has talked about it. So maybe that was just like that is something she would like personally. That's kind of the way
Yeah.
because she seemed happy.
I looked
about
over
it.
at Marcus. I was like, don't ever buy me a onesie. That's weird. um, okay,
It's
so
good.
Colleen and
I just don't understand them. I haven't from the beginning. I don't think that they're a good couple. I don't know why they're still
They-
together. I don't know why they even stayed together after the show.
they hate each other. They hate
Yeah.
each other. Like
He and there has been a lot of like people talking about maybe that was even a domestic abuse situation. I mean, who's
Yeah.
to say? They've gone back and said no, that's not the case at all. But like sometimes the way she talks is like she's scared of him.
really okay.
I
I didn't
so.
sense that. I sensed she just hates his guts, like to her core.
Or maybe just like is afraid to disagree with it. I don't know what it is.
Interesting.
But
I mean, we
just
definitely
didn't-
saw his temper during the season.
It was better.
Yeah, they don't live together, which they
Because of her humpy dog and his humpy dog, and he cares more about the dog than her.
Yeah. They were fighting at the party and Raven's like, it's a weird vibe, dude. Like, just everyone sees it, so it's not just us.
Well, yeah, and then who was talking to them about like having babies, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we're ready," and she's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah, and I also noticed like when they were at lunch with Matt's parents. First of all, that was just like already like weird and awkward also. But she's like when they talked
Mhm.
about kids, she's like, "Oh yeah, I want to have kids." And then she corrected herself saying, "We do." Like they aren't gonna make it through to the summer.
Yeah, I know. I wonder if it was just like they want to continue on to be on TV, and so they're both, or like I don't know. I think they need to go to therapy
Individually, they should give up on their relationship. I don't think they should work on it, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even really want to talk about them anymore because I don't know what to
Yeah.
say. I just am
Do you think they bought a
confused.
house yet?
I hope
To
not.
buy a house together when you can't even live together in your current situations is so risky.
Well, and also to even like have to consider what would happen if you broke up. Like immediately they're talking about looking houses, and she's like, "Oh, well, what's gonna happen if we're not together anymore?" It's like
Then don't.
that
It,
shouldn't even be a
it
thing.
took 10 years for me to be okay buying a house with Marcus.
I will say this. Do you want to know something?
Okay.
There is a new study that came out that the divorce rate
Mhm.
of people who don't live together before marriage is way lower. And that's surprising.
That is surprising.
And it's a study, like a real study.
From what establishment?
I don't know. I'll have to look it up. But I saw it, and it was like a legit thing. And I thought that was really
Yeah, it
interesting.
wouldn't be what I think from my experience, but I'm going to be one of those people. If I have kids and they are telling me they're getting married before they live together, I will buy them a house to live together before they can rock down the aisle.
It's everybody's own decision, dude.
Let's do Nancy and Bartise. So they had lunch together, and it seems like they've spent some time together since everything. What's your initial thought on this relationship?
I was for sure hanky panky has gone down.
She says no, but she said
yeah. Well, she said there was a night that got intimate. What does that mean? If you didn't,
maybe making out. No, okay, maybe they did other stuff.
Okay, if they start making out,
okay, this is the problem though. With Nancy and Bartise, I think this is where it becomes really important because it's weird. So the only person from this Love is Blind cast who is going to the perfect match is Bartise, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so the original season filmed July 2021. Mm-hmm. And then Perfect Match filmed March 2022. And a couple months after that, in August, after The Altar was filmed. So he has already gone and filmed Perfect Match at this point.
Huh. Interesting.
So I think that is what she's insinuating of her being hurt, of him going on the show. Right?
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I mean, I think that we have a lot of girls have had a Nancy situation where I think that she's holding on to him, and she thinks if she just continues to be her fun self, and Bartise is confusing. He hangs out with her and gives her flirty, happy vibes, but thinks that she knows they're never going to be together, even though he's putting out all the vibes that they could possibly be. It made me just feel bad for Nancy, and I think that it was good that I don't know that it's actually going to stay that way, but she kind of tried to put a stop to it. It seemed like
at the end they said, no, we aren't going to be friends. And I've really specifically, I know I talked crap about Brennan, but I liked when Brennan put Bartise on the hot seat. I was like, on boys' night, and he's like, does Nancy know though that it's not any more than friendship? And in my head, from what, just for me seeing and also maybe being in certain situations, I think Nancy, in the back of her head, whether she's going to say it or not, was maybe thinking maybe.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that was definitely the best decision for her, especially when she's thinking this and then he goes off on another dating show. Poor Nancy. And it also makes more sense of the built up anger even since the original season aired, and with her family and her mom who called him the poop emoji. I love her mom. Everyone needs a mom like that.
For sure.
Let's see. And I guess that's kind of all we have to say about them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't much, really. I think that the girls all gave her good advice. I think she has a good, strong support system to really help her through whatever continues to go on. So.
Agreed. All right, so Raven and SK, we talked about a little bit, but one thing that additionally surprised me when watching this is that they lived together at this point. And when everything went down with the cheating scandal, I did not know they lived together, and I did not know that they were engaged again. So it just makes the breakup even worse than we all thought.
Especially when it was SK pushing the progression so hard. All she was like is, we're trying to get to the graduation and then seeing what our future holds. But he's like, I love this woman. There's no one else. I have gold that I need to.
All the nice things he was saying, that just makes me, something's wrong with him. It doesn't make sense, everything that he was saying, and it doesn't match what he was doing. And I also thought this scene was very interesting when Raven was going on about how you intern, you go to school, you have a full-time job, and I don't know how you do it. I don't even worry about you calling me because I know how busy you are. And he's like, well, the goal is to stay organized. He was just basically telling us how he cheated on her. He stayed organized, and he was like, Raven's on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and then I call the other bitches on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, being in different areas makes it very
Right.
easy. So I'm assuming the girl was where his school
yeah,
was.
I'm not entirely sure,
and-
but like most likely I would think so too.
Yeah, they were just so cute together too. And him too, but she was so.
She really like
I
it
just-
broke my heart at the very end when she was just like her in the camera of just like I've never like given myself away like that to somebody. Like I think that it's really hard for
Mhm.
her, and so it just makes me so sad. And because it is going to go into her next relationships, probably some for the better, some for the not so better.
Mhm.
One question I had: do you think the brother knew?
Maybe I want to say no, just because I hope not, because then he's a little evil villain too, and I want to chop his wiener off. But maybe, I don't know, or maybe he had some sort of weird vibe from him or something, because he definitely was preaching more of like, "Are you sure about this? Are you sure about this?" Like a lot of doubt.
Yeah, one thing my husband Marcus said also is remembering their background and their dad who has several wives, and it not maybe being as diabolical or as a big deal in his head as other people, even though he was I'm not giving him a pass because he was in a monogamous relationship that he agreed to. But I
Yeah.
thought that could maybe have skewed his brain a little bit to like what's okay and what's not okay.
Yeah, I could see that. But basically the comment telling the girl I'm on a show and it's not real, that nixes any sort of sympathy that I
Yeah,
could have
same.
for him.
Same.
So I'm excited, like next week or even probably before this, we'll probably somehow talk about Raven on the Bio Files, because that's, I'm hoping, going to give us some sort of clarity. We're probably not going to ever completely.
Yeah,
but
definitely be
holy
recapping
moly,
that.
this
Either we'll
sucks.
probably touch on this next week's podcast or on our TikTok, Instagram. So be sure to follow us at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod. We will on top of that. I'm gonna leave it with a few months later, and then we just see kind of Raven talking to the camera, kind of telling us what happened. Was that enough for you? Like what were you expecting versus what you got? Or I could go first if you want.
No, I can answer that. I wish we had something from SK, but I'm sure he probably was like, no, I'm not going to talk about it because I am an idiot and I'm wrong. And I know that the world is going to want to crush me. And I think that it was okay that that's all Raven wanted to say. I don't think it was for us to necessarily know or expect more, because think about how much that would hurt. You just had all these things, and it sounded like she had maybe even gotten to rewatch the way she had been
It did
feeling
seem
before,
like that.
which she was like cloud 9, like wonderful. One weird thing I will say though is they never had them together like they did the other couples, even during the whole show. They did.
Not very often, but I know for sure one time they were both on the couch.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's probably because of his schedule too. But anyways, I feel like, think about how hard that would be for everybody to just see that all happening, and they're just so happy for you, and you can't really talk out, you can't say things about it, and like, I think that we're lucky that we even got that.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And I was thinking the same thing. I was hoping to see something from SK. Not that he would have anything to say that would necessarily change my opinion about him, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? No, Raven should be the only one who has this platform. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Who knows? Maybe he tried to say something and we're like, yeah,
That's
right,
true.
we're not letting anybody see that because you
No,
suck.
it's very true. And I do have a question on, like, to wrap it up on the after the altar recap, but we kind of already talked about it, so I think I know your answer. The MVP of ATA after the altar.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, Raven.
Raven.
Okay, sorry. But yes, I'm obsessed with her, and
I want to go to her Pilates class and look like.
let's do it.
Let's do it. Where does she live?
Unclear.
I know. I feel like
Yeah,
you should go
I
to
have
that.
no clue.
Look it up. Or I think she even has online stuff. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm
I've
just
heard a
gonna-
lot of people taking her like YouTube class or something like that. So definitely do
Yeah.
that.
I
We
think I
love
might need to do that.
Raven, wishing her the best. And at the very end, we have a perfect match sneak preview, which we will also be recapping. It comes out Actually, the 14th on Valentine's Day this week. So we will be recapping next week, and I'm so excited. Yep.
Yay!
When it comes to Bachelor Nation news, it was so light this week, and it was nothing really worth talking about. And we'd much rather recap after the altar in this time frame. So let's go right into the Bachelor recap. Recapping the Bachelor week 4, and I just have something to say.
What?
Can we stop with the shower scenes? It's every single week. A naked man. And sure, I love seeing naked men, but not necessarily him. I'm sorry, he doesn't do it for me.
Well, and also, I don't need to see it that many times. We know.
It's just over and over, and it's just like it's just like him rubbing soap all over. It's awkward. It makes me feel.
And also when it goes up his like thighs.
Every time. I don't remember them doing this with other bachelors. Like, yeah, they do it, but like not every single episode.
I think though that they really are going OG this season, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, overall, I totally agree.
Because that was what they used to do. I feel like more shower scenes. And then also, I love that it's ending with a rose ceremony every episode.
I like that too. Maybe they're listening a little bit to us. But yeah, I'm interested to see kind of how the rest of the season plays out and if we'll still have that opinion at the end.
That's true.
We're getting ahead of ourselves. This week they go to the Bahamas, and our first one-on-one date is with Kat. What did you think of the girls' response to Kat getting a one-on-one?
What was their response?
Greer just started bawling.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I totally forgot about that.
But I'm happy for you. Have a good time. And then Kat's like hugging her. And I'm just like, oh my God. Like, way to make it about you, Greer.
I feel like all these girls are like so open that it's like, it's good, but also it's a little much at all times.
It is. So yeah, that was a lot. But then they go on a boat. What did you think of this date overall? I want to hear from you first.
Well, I have never seen a dance party on a yacht. Well, I mean, with them, I mean, like with a couple of just two people, and I think she's weird. I don't know. What do you? I like her. I think he liked her.
And I think they're obsessed with each other. When you hear like their interviews, they're talking about how well it's going. If I didn't have those interviews over like voiceover of the footage that I'm seeing, it felt super awkward to me. Like, like how he's like, oh, but do you want to like sit here for like the SPF? And then like, oh, like, I don't know, it was all like very robotic. And then like,
I'll take off my own shorts or like.
Yes, it was like an awkward sex scene, but without the big finish. So I guess maybe the dancing was, and I'm not a good dancer, so I'm not saying like I don't mind bad dancing, but it was just like there's so many memes about that little dancing scene. I think it's hilarious. It would just, the one word I'd have to describe it was awkward to watch. But they're obsessed with each other.
Yeah, and I could see that because I did kind of feel that way, but I think because of the like them talking, I'm like, okay, they just are like totally being goofy and weird together, and they're loving it. That's kind of how I just like
take out the sound, and it's an entirely different episode, or date. And especially like when they were like, he's like, kissing is like fireworks. It's like he was like describing of like two souls coming to, like he was just like a poet or a poet? Oh, just a poet. Yeah. And then kind of while this is happening, they always do like, what are the girls talking about back at the Bahama hotel? And Anastasia is feeling like Zach's kind of chosen the girls that he's interested in, and she's not one of them. Mm-hmm. And like, if you put yourself into Anastasia's brain, like who are those girls that Zach has chosen to you?
Charity, Catherine, Katie, Gabby, actually, which is kind of surprising, but I don't know if she's a known one.
Yeah, that's true. I think for sure those three, I would have said the exact same thing. And I think Gabby is there, and I think Ariel is like starting to...
Ariel.
But I don't think she's there yet of what like the girl. I think it's very obvious, specifically Katie and Charity. And probably Kat now after this week that like those are his bitches, you know, his ride or dies.
Yeah.
So she was very astute. Yeah, I thought I really like Anastasia, but we'll get more into that. Then we have the group date.
Which I
What
like
was our
that
favorite part?
I like that it was just chill. What is my favorite part?
Yeah. It's our I'm already telling it for you. It's both of our favorite parts that happen on the group date.
All right, let's hear it.
Gabby being allergic to shellfish. Funny. Like, first of all, okay, if someone is allergic to shellfish, shouldn't the producers know and do a different date where shellfish isn't flying around everyone's face?
I know. What if it whacked her in the head on accident?
Yeah, and then she says like she can't kiss Zach, but then she ends up kissing Zach. Like, thank God she didn't have to go to the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
I saw. Are you familiar with the Game of Roses podcast?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I actually haven't listened to it myself, but it's really big in the Bachelor community, and they have literally a book that's like How to Win the Bachelor, and supposedly contestants actually go to these people before they go on the show, certain ones of like how to win and how to like get a good edit and stuff like this. And someone tweeted at Game of Roses, so like everyone knows, according to Game of Roses, that Gabby should have had pretended to have an allergic reaction, gone to the hospital for some one-on-one time with Zach.
I know there hasn't been that in a while. No, I know
that's
it
genius. is. Pull a Carly and Evan for Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was so funny. It's like if someone's allergic to peanut butter, they're going to go to a peanut butter factory.
That is accurate. I don't know. Oh my goodness. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah.
Yes, but then we have the start of the Kylee versus Anastasia drama. Go.
Okay, let's actually start with how Anastasia pulled Zach away. They were doing limbo. She's like, a kiss for good luck. And Zach's like, on the cheek. It was awkward to me.
Was it? You know, maybe I'm watching it now where I watch it with the East Coast and my feed sometimes gets glitchy, and I think it glitched that part, so I didn't get to see it. But I mean, it's nice that he's respectful to his. See, that's the thing of him already choosing the girls. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but can we come back to this? Because specifically with Charity, who is one of his ladies, his top ladies, I think it really, he is doing this journey now for his top ladies he already has. So we'll go back to that.
Okay. Then they're talking and Kylee comes over and is like, oh, like, can I steal him? And she's like, give me 2 minutes, please. And she's like, come on, like, I want to take him. And then she's like, can we please have 2 minutes? And she's like, I'm not going to fight you on it. Like, come on, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Anastasia goes around and tells everyone that she was scared because she was going to hurt her or like hit her,
like
start
physically fight her.
I'm like, is she dumb? I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was dumb.
So dumb. I was team Kylee in that first scenario because it kind of like continues their fight throughout the rest of the episode, but 100%. And not to make it a race thing, but it is kind of, it's a white woman saying she's scared of a woman of color and really unnecessarily. And I'm not saying Anastasia is racist or she didn't mean it like that, but I think there is like those microaggressions that what people don't even realize they're doing or can realize how damaging that is to like specific stereotypes. So I just think that was a major blunder on Anastasia's part. Like, I'm hoping she kind of looks back on that and be like, probably shouldn't have done that or said that and made a big deal about it, especially because Zach was right there and knew that that's not what Kylee meant.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a very common term. It's not like...
Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't want to fight about it because they were like bickering back and forth. It was very obvious that Kylee wasn't like, yo, let's fight over.
No, she was nervous
right in front of them.
Yeah, she was so scared. She was scared.
She was terrified. She was cute. Like I liked her at this point for sure. And so Then we go into the night portion of the group day, and that's when Kylee. This is how I interpret what happened in Kylie's brain for the group day. I think she was really upset, and as she should, about Anastasia going around and telling people that she's scared of her and she's tried to physically fight her. That's like damaging on television. Like, you don't know exactly how it's going to be edited. She's probably like going in her mind like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And I was like, then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I remember someone said this to me. This is how I get back at her, or this is how I make her the villain instead of me.
Mhm.
And I think it was a completely selfish move. It had nothing to do with Zach, in my opinion. It was just kind of a tit for tat. And that's kind of my thought for Kylee bringing it up to Zach. Do you agree, or what do you think?
Mostly I agree, but then I also wonder about the editing. I wonder if she told the story of like what actually happened completely, because she kind of didn't even really say that she said the fighting part. And then I wonder if he was like, well, is there anything else that has happened? Like, da, 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 da. And then if she said that, then it's more understandable. But
And that's how she explained it to the group, which
yeah,
was a lie.
well, but was it? That's what I'm saying. We don't really know.
Oh, I remember her like going from
No, I'm just
talking
saying,
about the fight.
could it be editing though?
Oh, yeah, you're true. You're right. Just that's not how I interpreted it, but you're very I get that for
Yeah,
sure.
but
And
that's the only thing that kind of gives her a pass. If maybe she really did say more and we just didn't see it all. But from based upon
yeah.
just what we said, I do agree with you. I feel like it was definitely a selfish move, and she just wanted to bring Anastasia down.
Yeah, like I think if she handled it differently, she could have really come out on top this episode and be a fan favorite. And instead, I mean, I feel like it's pretty split 50-50 on
Mhm.
the kind of takeaway from Anastasia and Kylee. So after Zach hears about that, he goes to the group saying, I've been told some people aren't here for the right reasons. Anastasia, you come with me.
He does that every
He's
time.
not settle.
No.
What did you think of their convo?
I thought it was good. I guess what I think is, I don't know why Anastasia is not just maybe being open about what she said, because I think if she was just honest and said, I said this, I shouldn't have said it, it wasn't even about that, then maybe it could have been received better, because I think she was just like, basically, I don't know how he could think this, or how anyone could think this, or how da 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 da. So to me, that was kind of like bad for her. Like, it just didn't look good on her.
Yeah, I think she was just really caught off guard. And it looked like none of the other ladies knew what was going on except for Charity and Kylee, which begs me to think. Basically, kind of it comes out that Anastasia had said something to the fact that now that we're top 14, we're probably going to get like 50K followers like from this exposure. First of all, incorrect. Like, there's no way they're going to get that much just for being top 14. Like, I don't even know if Zach has 50K followers. But anyways, but we got to remember, okay, it was a conversation at the airport and Charity is the one who heard it and told Kylee.
Mhm.
And so it begs me to ask the question, who was asking these questions? Who was part of that conversation? Because those girls weren't speaking up. I mean, you know what I mean? And it's also remember to think that that is her career. Someone who's a content creator, both of us have that type of, we make a living to a certain extent on that. Her guard was down. She was outside of the house. The girls were asking her questions because she literally has experience in this and they don't. And they're probably trying to figure out what to do after the show's over. And I think people can have those conversations and be excited about it even initially and still be into Zach. The problem was Anastasia shouldn't have let her guard down. She should have known you can't say it, even if honestly, if it's the truth, if you are there for followers, just don't say it.
Yeah. No, I agree. Because to a certain extent, I think maybe that was literally the only comment that was wrong. She probably was just talking about her business, talking about content creation and what she does. Like, I would ask if, what else do you do when you're just sitting with a group of women you don't know? You ask them about their lives. So that conversation was bound to come up. And so maybe
Yeah,
someone
I
even
totally
asked,
agree.
how do you get followers? Da, 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 da. Well, us being here, like, it could have been like such a flippant comment, which whatever that it's not true, but you know what I mean? Like, if it is true, like, she was just saying it. She wasn't being like, I'm only here. I don't even like Zach. She actually seemed like she did like Zach.
I
She wasn't
agree.
a front runner. She didn't have the opportunity to completely like him, know if there was a real connection, but I don't know.
Agreed. Kind of to get away from the Anastasia Kylee drama for a second, we did have a standout, in my opinion, on that group date, and it was who got the date group. And it was who got the group date rose, which was Ariel. I think she's really getting up there. I love her. Her favorite color is green. My favorite color is green. Can we be friends, besties? Hit me up. What do you think of Ariel?
I think that she's super dry and sarcastic, and I love it. I think that they really need a one-on-one date to
Agreed.
flourish, just because they do have really good flirty banter. But I just think for Zach to get further along with her, he needs a little bit more. But she's definitely keeping him interested for sure.
100%. Yeah, that group date rose I think means a lot, and that's kind of all that happens on the group date. Anastasia is upset because she thinks she would have gotten it if Ariel didn't. I don't think that's the case, to be honest.
Anastasia thought that?
She said she thought she was going to get the rose before everything happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
Yes, and then we have another one-on-one with Brooklyn. Let me know what you think about that.
So I felt like watching the other dates, it felt a lot more at ease. There was a lot more comfortability that I felt. But I just felt like there was a lot more nerves that I noticed in this one-on-one date. But
so it's comfortable or nerves? I feel like those are an oxymoron. No? Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm saying it wasn't as comfortable.
Oh, okay. I heard it was.
Maybe I didn't say it right. I don't think
gotcha.
I do not think it was as comfortable as the other dates that he has been on. I feel like maybe,
Yes.
But it's also maybe just because he maybe had more of a spark or more of a relationship already formed with the other girls before their one-on-one dates than this one. Or just her personality is just maybe a little bit more even like mine. I would be a little bit more reserved compared. But anyway.
What do you think about the fist bump?
I thought it was hilarious.
It was funny. Zach was so taken back. It's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
And to bring it up again at the dinner portion, so funny. Yeah, I personally don't think they're going to last. She might last a week or two more, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, I made a prediction kind of in the beginning because of how he is with breakups of if more one-on-ones, he's going to start sending girls home because he I don't think he's got the cojones to send girls on a one-on-one. I think it's only when he has the excuse of some type of drama, because I think what happened with Christina is he didn't want to give her a rose, but he's not going to be the one to send home the single mom who just told him she has a son. Mm-hmm. And I think with Brooklyn, I don't think he was feeling, whatever, yeah. And with Brooklyn, she talks about her experience in past relationships with domestic abuse, and you can't not give someone a rose after that.
Yeah, I feel like...
You know what I mean?
Yes, because I wrote in my notes, as I was watching the day, is she's not going to get a rose. This is going to be the first one that she's not going to get a rose. Just because it didn't feel supernatural. It didn't feel like the other dates do. He didn't seem as into it as he was with the other dates.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I think if she wouldn't have opened up, he wouldn't have given it to her, though.
Yeah, I do want to touch on what Brooklyn opened up about, because we first had the domestic abuse kind of warning at the beginning, and then they also gave a what's it called? A line to call hotline. If you're ever in a situation, hotline, which I love that Bachelor did that. And for Brooklyn to open up like that, she didn't have to. But I think, who knows who's watching this and who's in a situation like she was, and being look at her now, she's on the Bachelorette, and give the courage. So I think her opening it up could possibly like change lives. And even though it doesn't necessarily benefit her too much, because who knows what people will say, or like she's on a reality television. But what I'm trying to say is I thought it was really brave and courageous, her speaking out about her past experiences, which I'm sure she's not like, doesn't tell everyone she meets. It's very personal information that she shared with Zach and the rest of us. So I appreciate her for that, and we support her.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with everything you just said.
Cool. All right. Then we have the rose ceremony. Zach does not waste any more time, grabs Anastasia. They have their second convo, which is more than he's given anybody else. I think she had time to think about it, but I think really what happened, I think he said it himself, the relationship wasn't to the part where that doubt wouldn't come in. Like, it wasn't to a level where he felt the risk of keeping her in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what I thought. I'm like, their connection isn't far enough for him to keep her. Like, there's no really real reason. He probably was on the road to letting her leave anyway, so it's just kind of like, there's no point in me just keeping you to keep you.
Yeah, and once you have that doubt, I feel like it's hard to get rid of.
Totally. Forgot to say,
ahead.
though, at the group date, his interactions with Jess is so sweet and cute. He is so sweet to her, and I want them to have a one-on-one bad, because if they don't, she'll probably leave. But if they do, I don't know. That could be something. And
I completely agree.
I also think, though, that he is the king of validating, and that might bite him in the butt a little bit, because he is going to break these girls' hearts. That group date, he was going around telling each one why they are so special. Uniquely, though, he's very good at it. He is very good.
And he's genuine.
Yes.
Like, he's not playing a game.
Oh, yeah. I don't mean it like that. He's so genuine, and I mean, if anything, these girls are going to come out with high standards.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I feel like he'd be a great boyfriend, great husband. So, all right. And so Anastasia leaves at the cocktail ceremony or cocktail party, and then Kylee immediately bursts into tears. I was confused.
She just kind of was turned into a little bit of a drama queen to me.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And like, maybe she's just extra sensitive. Even though she's the one who caused it, maybe she feels guilt. Maybe she feels bad that it was her, and like,
maybe she's scared that now because she left, that now she's gonna leave. I don't know.
Yes, and like she almost just like wasn't like she was gonna go home and quit for like a hot second. And people on Twitter are saying that 100% it was fake crying and it wasn't even real tears. What do you say to that?
Oh gosh, I don't know what I say to that. I mean,
I don't. I think she's just a drama queen.
Yeah, I think she just got overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Same. I also don't really think she should have gotten a rose, to be honest. Same. I don't see the connection there at all compared to the other ones.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then kind of some of the people he talks to at the cocktail party is Charity, Kat. Any thoughts?
Oh,
you can say no.
Kat's dress. Okay, also Kat. You notice he calls her Kat. I told you.
Yep. You did. You called it.
I normally am not for a sparkle dress, but Kat's sparkle dress with the high slit up the side. Loved it. He also pulled her aside. So he's into her, man. He's into her.
I thought he was just gonna take her right then and there on the pool.
I know. Table. I was waiting for him to lay her back. I was like, this is gonna happen.
I know. Yeah, he's so into it. Zach would say she looked like a model with that dress. So it's cute how he talks about her. I like them.
Yeah.
All right. And so the people who end up going home is Genevieve and Davia. Genevieve, I predicted.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I don't see anything with them. Davia, I was really disappointed because I really like her. I wish it was Kylee who went home instead of Davia.
100% agree with that. That's what I was thinking. I was very surprised. I thought we were going to see her more. And she just seemed really, really sweet. I kind of hope she goes to Bachelor in Paradise.
Same. I really hope so too, and I think she will. Kind of my question with her is like they just had a deep conversation at the cocktail party about their relationship. I'm curious why he didn't send her home then, since he is like so into that.
I know. I was a little curious about that too, especially because she made a comment like he gave her a reason. And I'm not sure.
I know.
So it was almost like maybe he did kind of like what he did with Bailey, except for they never had a second conversation. You know what I mean? Where he's like,
Could be. Yeah.
because I thought he should have sent Bailey home that first conversation when he was basically like, yeah, we've regressed. So maybe it was something like that. And she left thinking maybe there was hope because he didn't send her home, but then she didn't get the rose and she was like, oh, okay, so he just decided that's really how he feels or something.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a bummer. And then we get a sneak peek. It looks like something really big goes down. But before that, when I saw Gabby and Corgis on my screen, I jumped up and down of joy. I am so excited to see their one-on-one date.
No, I think she's going to have like a princess, like some, I don't know, it's going to be good. Because you do see her.
Yeah, because then she has like the gown.
Yeah. I cannot wait for this. It better go wonderful.
Yeah. But yeah, and we don't see anyone else on a date next week. What do you think happens?
Does he get COVID? That was my guess.
I think so. Yeah, that's what people are saying.
Yes.
Yeah, so should be interesting. I don't know if there's going to be some like Zoom dates. We'll see how that goes. But then also one thing I noticed in the sneak peek is after that date with Gabby, we don't see her in any of the group settings. So I'm curious where that leads Gabby.
So maybe she leaves like at
she
the
has
end
to
of the
quarantine, or maybe Logan went home when he had COVID.
Oh,
so I don't
get
know
what you're saying. Maybe
she
got
I don't know.
and...
That might be. I think that's why people are upset. So upset.
No.
So I hope I'm wrong. But I mean, I feel like just because of COVID, if Zach really has feelings for her and sees her as a potential wife, they'll figure it out. But should be interesting to see how that all goes down. I'm also excited for them to be in London. Oh, it does look like they did have one group date out in like the city. Talk to some locals at the pub. I'm really excited.
Yeah. No, I'm excited too.
It'll be a good one because this one is a little bit of a snore.
Yeah, totally. There wasn't much to say. I mean, the little bit of drama, but even that was just kind of like petty, like whatever.
Same. Yeah. All right. Next week.
See ya.
We'll be here. Bye. As a reminder, we have new episodes every Wednesday on YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Stop Wearing My Clothes Pod.
And Twitter at Stop Wearing My.
Okay. You can also email us at stopwearingmyclothespodcast@gmail.com.
And we will see you next week. See you.
Bye.